Some road names, well, they make sense. Church Street, Main Street, River Road. They kind of tell you where you're going, or at least, well, where you might end up. But sometimes a road name doesn't feel like a label. It feels like a message. And tucked away in Lisbon, New York, there's one of those roads. A road that doesn't just guide you, it warns you. Some call it the Lisbon Superhighway. Some, well, they call it by its real name, Pray Road. And the question that lingers every time you see that green road sign is simple, but it's also unsettling. What are you supposed to pray for? Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Street Sign Storytime. This is a road that I have taken many times, and I've kind of always wondered, why did it get its name? Where did it get its name? And what am I supposed to pray for? Well, this is going to hopefully answer some stuff with some actual factual information, right? Right. All right, without further ado, let's jump into it. Because, well, some locals, they're going to say it's simple. Pray was a family name. In the 1800s, the Pray family owned farmland along this stretch. They were quiet, hardworking people, not particularly known for a scandal or a tragedy. The road was, well, just where they lived. But others, they claim it was never just a family name. The story goes that in the earliest days of Lisbon, when settlers were carving out homes from thick woods and stubborn ground, they built a small meeting house near the road, a church of sorts. And whatever times were hard, whether it was crop failure, bitter winters, or outbreaks of illness, this was where people gathered. And what did they do there? You guessed it, they prayed. And over time, maps, they would record Pray Road. But unlike other names that kind of softened into quaint history, this one kept its edge. It carried weight. Because once you drove it, you understood. It wasn't just a name. It was a reminder. And ask anyone in town who's lived there long enough. They'll have a story. Farmers, they swear they've heard voices at night. Not shouts, not laughter, but low, steady murmurs, like a group reciting something in unison. More than one hunter has reported lantern lights just weaving through the trees, vanishing as soon as they're followed. And if you mention Pray Road in the Lisbon diner on a cold morning, someone's going to lean in and tell you the trucker's story. You're on the trucker's story. Well, it was back in the 1980s. A man was hauling through the North Country, missed a turn, and ended up on Pray Road. Late, around midnight, he said the engine cut out. Dead silent. As he sat there, in the dark, he saw them, a procession of figures in the ditch, dozens of them, each one moving slowly, each one holding a candle. None of them looked up, not once, just walked and whispered. His truck roared back to life, only after they passed. He never went back. He never missed a turn. He never took a job in Lisbon again. Stories like that cling to Pray Road. Not every driver sees something, but enough do, that it's become part of Lisbon's unofficial folklore. And you're probably thinking, I've lived in Lisbon forever. I've never heard of this. Well, you haven't lived here long enough. Or you might not have talked to the right people. Or maybe the wrong people, I don't know. But then there's another legend that not everybody, but a lot of people whisper about. And it's the prayer in the rear view. Because according to the story, if you drive Pray Road at midnight and keep your speed under 20 miles per hour, just long enough to get passed by some wild Amish during Rumspringa after too many fireball shooters that they got at the counter of the local drugstore, you're not going to be alone. Because at first, the silence, it presses in. The air, it feels heavy. The dashboard lights, they seem dimmer than usual. Then, you're going to catch some movement in your rear view mirror. He's described the same way every single time. I know most of you people are hoping that he looks like Josh Allen, but he's a man sitting in the back seat, hands clasped, head bowed, lips moving in silent prayer. He never looks up. He never speaks to you. He just prays. Some say he was a preacher who lost his congregation in a fire. Others think he was a father who prayed for his family to survive a brutal winter, only to lose them one by one. The details, they shift, but the course stays the same. He's still praying, long after death. And the scariest part, if you look too long, if you turn around or try to catch his eye in the mirror, your car, it's gonna die. Just like the trucker's rig. It stalls. The headlights cut out. The world goes dark. And when you finally get the car running again, guess what? He's gone. Now, the rational explanation. Easy. It really could just be a family name. The Prey family did live in the area. Old maps confirm it. The church road theory is just as possible. And the ghost stories, well, the human brain does love patterns. Mist and headlights look like figures, trees sway and create phantom lantern lights, and overactive imagination can, well, fill the gap. But here's the thing. Why is it that so many roads are named for families, but only a handful carry this kind of reputation? Why is it that when people talk about the Prey Road, there's a shiver, a pause, an unspoken agreement that something isn't right there? And whether the stories are true or not, it really almost doesn't matter, because the legend, well, it's alive. So the next time you find yourself in Lisbon, you're going to see the sign. Prey Road. Just another quiet country lane stretching off into the distance. Just another road that the young folks maybe have a couple too many drinks and say that's the safest way home. A lot of Amish just going from one place to the other. But if you maybe take the Prey Road after dark, if you let your speed dip below 20, if you check your mirror a little too often, you may feel what others have felt. That cold shiver in your spine, that itch in your hands to grip the wheel a little bit tighter, that quiet thought in the back of your head, maybe I should say a prayer, just in case. Because some roads get their names by accident. Others, they earn them. And the Prey Road, it sure earned it. Well, that's all we got for another episode of Street Sign Storytime. But guess what? We'll be back next week for another episode. If you have a recommendation of a road that you want me to write a story about, let me know in the comments. Shoot me an email, matt@beardlaws.com. Check out all the other shows. Check out the playlist. Check out the stuff. I'd appreciate it. Or don't. Just get driving. Find some awesome road names. Take care, everybody.